everyone. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to the Journey Live for yet another episode. Coming to you live from the YouTube page of Spirit of Praise Ministry, straight into your homes all across America. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're extremely excited to have the opportunity to talk to another entrepreneur tonight. And my name is Vanessa. I'm your host along with Richardson. How you doing,
Hey
Rich?
everybody. I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good,
Good to see you
good.
again.
Yes, it's so always a good time. I
Yes, it
always
is.
enjoy having these conversations because each time we speak with someone, I feel like I learned something new, you know?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I know this is going to be a little bit off topic, but I know everybody that is watching did watch the verdict yesterday from
Yeah.
the Derek Chauvin trial, which
Hmm.
was a good beginning, a good starting point
Yes.
for our community as we deal with a lot of police brutality. But it
Hmm.
was just a wonderful sight to see that justice is starting to work in our favor. But we still
Yeah.
have some work to do. Just wanted to throw that out there that
Yeah.
everybody that might be worried about different situations that they might be in, but just know that as long as we continue to push for what we want, then we
Hmm.
can achieve a lot more than what we've been given so far.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah,
just wanted to put that
absolutely.
out real quick.
Yeah, and I don't know if other people can relate to this, but
Mhm.
yesterday I felt like a mix of emotions
Yeah.
because although like I'm I feel like that was of course the right to decision to charge him as guilty, but at the
Mhm.
same time you think about like the family and nobody really wants their to sacrifice a family member for
Right.
a cause and of course nobody wants to be a martyr, you know, people
Mhm.
we just want to live our lives and
That's
exist
correct.
in our skin how we
Mhm.
were made. So it's terrible to think that George Floyd will never come back. And
Mhm.
I also think about all the countless other Black people that died as a
Mhm.
result of police violence, and their cases never really got that same result. So although I'm like really happy for this step forward, in
Right.
the back of my mind, I'm thinking about, you know, those other things that, you know, put things into perspective. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're absolutely right. I just hope that, you know, going forward, they know we are watching and
Yeah.
we're going to continue to speak out.
and and also to add on to that, um, just to hear about the young lady, the 16-year-old in Ohio,
Mhm. Yeah.
right as the verdict of Chauvin is being given, she gets shot and she dies from a police
Yeah.
officer, from an encounter with a police officer. So we just gotta pray, lift up that family in prayer as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, guys, just it may seem like there's light at the end, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We just got to
Hmm.
continue to push forward. So
Hmm.
just wanted to
Yeah.
talk that out to everybody because I know everybody's still going through that emotion, the high and low
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
yesterday. So
For sure. Yeah. All right. So now that we've gotten that out, and it was
yes.
actually good to, you know, process that with you.
Mhm.
Now let's dive into our show. As you know, we come into this space so that we can talk to different people who are on an entrepreneurship journey, and they share with us their stories.
Right.
So this means the good, the bad, the ugly. This space basically serves as inspiration for all of you watching. Like I always say, whether you know what your passion is and you want to become an entrepreneur, or if
Mhm.
you're just figuring it out, this is a great time for you to spend with us, so we can dive into what that looks like in all different industries. So today we have a special guest
Yes.
named Laura Charles. And Laura Charles is a woman of many hats, in her words. She is passionate about education, fashion, and traveling, all things that I love. She
Mm.
holds a degree in early childhood education and special education, and she currently teaches language arts at the elementary level. She is also married and is the mother of a beautiful girl. Her blogging journey started about 10 years ago with her blog Chronicles of a Sick Rose, where she blogged about the journey that young women go through while trying to find themselves. With the rise of social media and the rapid growth of blogging and the influencer world, she decided to turn her blogging platform into her brand. Hence, her latest blog, IamLauraCharles.com. Since then, she's
Good
had the
brand.
opportunity to work with popular brands like Tom's, Altered State, and Neutrogena. And last year, she decided to launch her online clothing shop, Shop Laura Charles. As an avid shopper, she felt like finding a place to shop that is fashion forward, super chic, not overly expensive, and offering options for voluptuous women like herself wasn't always easy. And she wanted women to find all of these attributes in one place. Let me tell you, that's definitely a challenge, and I'm really, really glad that she created the opportunity for that. If there's one thing that Laura likes more than teaching and fashion, it's definitely traveling. She has traveled to over 30 countries.
Oh yeah,
And
she
before
does.
COVID, she also offered curated traveling planning services. And she hopes to resume with those services over the summer.
Oh yeah.
So just from that recap, you can tell that Laura has such a rich experience in life and in business. So we are so excited to get to dive in to conversation and talk with her about her passions and her journey in entrepreneurship. So everyone, please welcome Laura Charles to our show. So she'll be joining us just now.
Hey, welcome, Laura. Good to see you. Good to see you again. How
Let's
are you
see
doing?
you guys.
Yeah.
Amazing. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, so glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
Good. So I told the people a little bit about yourself from your bio, but why don't, in your own words, why don't you tell us about who you are and maybe tell us something that wasn't mentioned in your bio?
Okay. Well, I am someone who's blessed enough to do everything that I'm passionate about. I love education, so I teach. I'm a teacher. I have a degree in early child education. My dream was always to return back home to Haiti, where my family has a school. So it was like always my motivation because I always liked teaching. Like I used to pretend teaching when I was younger. So I went into education thinking my end goal is to move back to Haiti. So after college, I did go back to Haiti. I stayed there for 3 years and I worked at my parents' school until I got married and had a baby. And the situation wasn't very kid friendly. It's nobody friendly right now. So it was just a risk that I didn't want to personally or put my family if I had the option of not being there.
Yeah.
So after I had my daughter, I was here. I stayed home with her for a year, and I decided that I miss being in the classroom. I miss teaching. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
So I got a teaching job. I've been teaching ever since. So besides teaching, I also blog. I love writing. So I started blogging in college. I was going through like a depression time, and I kind of always gravitated towards writing. Every time I was going through something dark, I wrote it down. And so I would publish. And a lot of people reacted to that. And that was back when blogging wasn't I wasn't getting paid for it. It wasn't like what it is now. It was just me writing to write. So it became very popular. And then when I got married, I kind of stopped because I was traveling and I was like, I'm not depressed anymore. I still laugh at that.
So now you got to think of like a new angle.
Life has a funny way, right? So I'm like, I don't need to write anymore. So I stopped blogging for a while. And then like my readers would write me all the time. We missed your blog. Why don't you write anymore? Because so many people resonated with what I was writing. So I decided to blog about my experiences with traveling. So I kind of shifted that with traveling, with restaurants, with fashion. So that's what I Am Laura Charles is mostly about. When I started blogging, brands started reaching out to me. So I made it like official, like my brand now. And then last year, I decided that I wanted to add the shop as an extension of my blog. It's funny because it kind of happened during COVID. I had all this time and I did not know what to do with myself.
So at the time, were you not in the classroom anymore?
I was teaching from home because it was kind of like things shut down in March and nobody told us. I went home on a Friday and then we get an email not to come back to the building. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? So I'm teaching from home, and then we have summers off, so I usually travel all summer.
Oh
So
yeah.
now I can't
COVID
go
took that away.
nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm home, and I'm like, brands aren't reaching out because they're cutting down on budget. I don't have partnerships to work on, and
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with myself. So I went back into a really dark place, and I was like, I need to reshift my energy because I feel like I'm going nuts. And it's
Mm-hmm.
always when I'm going through something that I find like I
Look
give
at
birth to, I
that.
always try to reshift my energy.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I was like, okay, brands are not reaching out. You can't travel, but you want to dress up
To go nowhere.
to go nowhere. So I was like, then why don't you start a clothing line and take pictures in your own clothes and sell them? So I literally researched from when school shut down in March, and I launched my boutique on my birthday in July. So I was
That's
like online learning
amazing.
about the boutique world.
Mhm.
I was doing all this
Yeah.
research because I had all this time.
Yeah.
So I thought about what can I do to make the most out of this time that you're never getting back.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
and it's there. You might as well make it. You might as well do something fruitful. So
Yeah.
that's where Shop Lord Charles came from.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Wow. That is
Yeah,
a
That
journey right
time
it
there.
was
frame
a
is like
bold
mind
move
blowing
during
to me.
COVID, right?
That
Mhm.
time frame is mind blowing to me, and I'd love to like get into like what that looked like. Did
Mhm.
you know anyone that was doing an online boutique? Like, what was your starting point?
I had one friend who had like an online boutique, and she kind of reached out when I told her about it. We were
Mm-hmm.
just talking, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm selling jewelry," and I was like, "Really?" So we kind of talked about it, and she was like, "That's a great idea." And I just started doing research. YouTube is your best friend.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So I didn't know anyone in particular that really told me which route to go. I did know, if you need a business, you need an LLC or whatever. So I
Mm-hmm.
quickly got the ball rolling. Like I was on my computer all day, all night,
Wow.
applying for a business license, trying to find vendors, trying to find a domain name. I mean,
Yeah.
everything like 2.5 months, a logo. I was like, God, I need a
Wow.
logo. And I'm like, oh gosh, I need a name. And I was like, just use your name. It's already your brand. I'm like, okay, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna stick with that. You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was a lot to do, but it was a good way of shifting my energy from everything that
Absolutely.
was going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was like a really dark time, and I was like, you got to do
Mm,
something to get yourself out of this hole.
for sure. I think that's
That's a
really,
nugget right
really
there.
key because a
Yeah,
lot
it
of
is.
people, end up in dark places and they have
Mhm.
no idea like what to do with that energy. And then that then becomes destructive or they get into habits that aren't beneficial for them. But for you, I think it's amazing that not only were you able to be creative, but you provided a service for other people. So like
Yeah,
you can join in on your passion too and shop along with
and
you.
I think people have to learn how to identify their triggers. Like
Mhm.
I've been there before. You kind of know when you're getting to that space, or you're like, I'm not
Right.
Sure.
myself.
Mhm.
So you have to be able to identify when you're getting to that place and reshift your energy, work out from home, do
Yeah.
something.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and it was like my initial blog with Chronicles of a Sick Rose. It was like I was blogging and I was literally pulling myself. I was literally speaking life into myself
Mm,
Right.
as I'm
mhm,
writing. I would
mhm.
write about mountain high and valley lows, like about how one
Yeah,
minute you're living your best life, the next you can't even get out of bed. And I would
yeah.
literally be in bed, not wanting to go outside, writing this blog post, and I'm literally
Mm,
speaking life into myself. So you
Right.
have to find your passion or your
yeah.
outlet, something that you like to do, so it
Mhm.
won't feel like you're doing work. But then that's also
Right.
beneficial to you and yourself because other people will keep you accountable. If they don't hear from you, they reach out.
Yeah, like your
You
Right.
haven't
audience
Right.
did.
posted in a while. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
Mhm.
What's
yeah,
Mhm.
happening? So they check on you. And that's kind of one way that I kept myself accountable with that as well.
yeah.
To even dig a little bit deeper into that, as you said, that sometimes you get into that place, into that dark place, or you feel yourself slipping into that place. How does the family dynamic and your support system help you with that type of transition? Because you went from the Chronicle of Their Rose blog, moved it over to the travel blog, and then when COVID hit, and you was like, okay, I got to pivot again.
Mm.
So how is the family dynamics, not with you now being married and with a daughter and that work-life balance? How did you balance that stuff out?
I have a great support system. It's anything I say I want to do, my husband jumps on board. He's like, sure, do it. He's like, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
And he knows me. He knows I'm an outdoors person. We're completely opposite. So he was fine with COVID, really. He's an introvert. He had no problems.
That's like
he didn't understand what my problem was. He's like, oh, you can't travel. You're saving money. What's the problem? Why are you complaining? He was fine. Besides the fact that there was a pandemic, he didn't have a problem with not being able to go out to socialize with your friends. So he's okay with anything that I set myself to do, because he knows that once I set my mind to it, you might as well just jump on board, get on that train, because it's going to happen. Yeah, that's just me.
I have a seat. We're going.
Like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But the balance is kind of what hit once I had to go back to work. And things started going back to being normal. And now I had to learn how to balance being a mom, working full time, because I work from 7 to 4, and then coming home, having to do marketing, because this is a one-woman show for now. I don't have a staff or anybody. I built my own website.
Wow.
I do my own packaging. I do everything. Oh, wow.
Do you mail the
I mail out my packages. Yes, I do everything, because I had all this time before.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, okay, it's time for you to hire other people. Like, it's becoming overwhelming now. But I told myself this summer, again, I'm gonna have some free time, because again, the good thing with teaching, you have free summers. So once the summer hit, I'll be able to try to figure out, my team, who I need to add, like how to make things a little easier on myself. So the challenge was the work-life balance. I was like, do I need to quit my day job?
Gotcha. Okay. And that's actually where I was leading with my next question. A lot of the entrepreneurs that we've talked to, they some of them have realized after they get to a certain point that they want to pursue entrepreneurship full time. So is that a journey that you see for yourself, or do you always envision yourself like keeping your passion of teaching or keeping that career and having your business alongside it?
That's a really good question. I went into the classroom not because I had to, but because I wanted to.
Right.
I truly enjoy being around children. Their energy, it's weird. It's a love and hate relationship. Like I tell you, like, Miss Charles, we get on your nerve, but you love us. I was like, how do you know? They're so demanding, but then it's also rewarding. It's something I truly enjoy. So in the future, I don't see myself being in the classroom for a long time. But I am thinking about also adding education to my entrepreneur journey. So probably like a child care or tutoring center.
Okay.
Because that's also something that I truly enjoy.
Yeah.
So I don't see me just not doing it at all.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people don't realize, like, it's okay to have multiple passions.
It's definitely okay, because
there's not
I was
just
able to fuel
path.
my side passion,
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't have to, if you enjoy what you do, you can, you don't have to quit your day job. To each his own, I believe that if you're miserable and you have bigger plans for yourself, that's something that it's time. Because I mean, at the end of the day, everybody likes having that flexibility and that freedom to, do what you want. And that's one of the reasons why I went into teaching, because I'm like, I'm not giving up my summers. Like, I get summer, Christmas.
Okay.
And I'm like,
the benefits don't hurt either.
They don't.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, it's not that bad. So it's something it's not something that I would do if I didn't like it, because it requires a lot. For you to, it's a profession of the heart, really, because the pay isn't even that good, to be honest. So if you enjoy it, if you enjoy your day job,
Yeah.
it's okay for you to have your day job and a side
Yeah,
business,
absolutely. Like there's so
Yeah,
many different paths that people can
definitely.
pursue, and it doesn't have to look the same for everybody. And I always love hearing people who have different career journeys throughout their lifetime. Like they may start off as a nurse, and then the next 10 years of their life, like I'm gonna be a teacher next. And
Right.
we're kind of fed like you have to be this one thing when you grow
Thing,
up,
right,
but
right.
it doesn't have to be that way. At least that's not
No,
how it plays
no.
out in life.
Definitely. We're all cut from a different cloth. Everybody's unique. Nobody's journey is the same. And there's a lot that plays into that. Some people have the flexibility, some people have the dream, but they can't afford to right now. People have
Yeah,
responsibilities, people
right.
have it depends on your life. So if don't be shamed into having a 9 to 5,
Mm,
because anything that you do to provide for yourself and your family, you should be proud of.
Correct.
mhm.
You're doing what you need to do. It does, if you have your passion, and if it's something small that you can start, no matter how small it is, that you want to start feeding into your passion, you can start small. A lot of people don't want to start on their side gigs or whatever their passions because they want to do it on a big scale.
Mm,
Well, you got to
Right.
start somewhere.
Right.
You can start small. It's
Amazon
okay.
started in the garage.
Definitely okay to
yeah.
start small. So I enjoy my daytime job. I really do. Especially during COVID. I know, right? I'm like, it's a pandemic and I'm saying I love going to work. But I do. I enjoy being around the kids. I love
Yeah.
having conversations with them. They keep you young. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
To
So
even
I in the future, I see different ventures, but still within education.
to even piggyback off of that, especially the education part. Now, with you being an influencer and a blogger, how do you feel that that part of you inspires your young students, the young women in your class? Because I'm sure they may have parents or friends or cousins that see, say, "Hey, isn't that your teacher? Oh, I see her
Yeah.
on
Have
you
you
or
had that
on
experience?
Instagram."
I
So
actually,
how
you know
how does
what?
that work? How is that dynamic in the class?
I went to work the other day. It's so funny that you asked that. It was like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I walk in and one of my students, she goes, "Miss Charles, you're famous." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You're all over Google." And I was like, "Why are you Googling me?" She was like, "Yeah, just type your name." And then I saw your blog and she
Oh
shared the
my
whole class with my
goodness.
pictures. And I was like, "Oh my God." So now they
Wow.
won't stop talking about it. And
Oh my
one of them said,
goodness.
"Miss Charles, you should stop teaching and be a model." And I'm like, "Oh goodness."
Oh.
So they're my little fans. And I wear a mask all day. And they're
hmm
like, "Miss Charles, you're so pretty on Instagram, but we can't see your face all day. We can't see
Oh.
your lipsticks." So yeah, I think even when I was student teaching, back in Georgia, when I lived in Georgia and I was student teaching, I always went to the classroom dressed really nice because I had young Black girls looking up to me. And they would
Mhm,
always say, "Miss Charles, I want to dress like you when I grow up. I like your hair." They
mhm.
notice everything about you. They
Mhm.
notice when I'm not wearing my glasses and I'm wearing contacts. They notice how you carry yourself.
Right,
Mhm.
So that's, to me, that's also one way to inspire.
Mhm.
And they tell me, "I want to be a teacher like you." I'm like, "Well, it's a lot of things you can be," but
Yeah, yeah.
but definitely showing them that. And one of the girls said, "My dad works 2 jobs too, like you, Miss Charles. So I understand that sometimes you're tired because you got to write when you get
Oh,
home."
oh my gosh.
I know.
That's
So we're having
sweet.
these conversations. So to me, it's important. And one of them told me, "Miss Shaws, I want to go to college, but I also want to do nails on the side when I grow up." So we're teaching them that, first of all, women can be anything they want.
that's
Um,
correct. Yes,
and and
that's real
Yeah.
big right
and
there.
I think they look up to me a lot. With they love the car I drive. They love how I do my hair. They're very attentive.
Yeah.
And to me,
Same.
the relationships I had with my teachers growing up was one of the, not even my mom, the relationship I had with my teachers growing up was one of the reasons why I wanted to go into education. And I think
Mhm.
I'm also making that impact with especially young Black kids.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some comments in there.
Uh-oh.
My
I
brother was
don't know.
like,
I
"You need
can't
to
see
hire your
them.
nephew,
My
and niece
nephew,
for the
hi, is it
summers."
Teddy?
They say you need to hire your nephews and nieces for the
Oh, there
summertime.
we go.
And Ed
That's
Lisa,
your help right
she's like,
there.
"Where do I send my resume?" Because you say that you're trying to build your team.
Oh, come on, Dawn. I need you in my team. I know you got me. She's so creative.
Who else? Who else pulled up? Lulu said Leon is definitely available too,
Hi,
and he's right
Lulu.
back here.
Everyone just
Look at all this
volunteering their
help I'm
kids.
getting. All right, now.
Yeah.
I have a whole team now.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's really good to hear that the kids really look up to you, and then you holding yourself up to such a high standard that
Yeah.
You have
they pay
to.
attention to every little detail.
Every detail. Yep.
So that's real good.
Mhm.
That's real good.
It's a struggle to keep them off my Instagram now when I'm teaching.
Does
Especially
that
since
make
they're on a
you?
tablet all day. And I'm like, why are you on my page?
Does that? Do you ever feel any type of pressure because you know that they're watching?
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
I post pictures. I'm like, I hope they don't see this picture of me in my bathing suit. I do feel some type of pressure now that I know that they're watching, but I think they see more pictures of my shop and my blog than my Instagram.
Okay.
But my name is my brand, so I don't think there's
Yeah.
There's no way around that one.
there's no way
you gotta
around
be
that.
yourself. So
Yeah, so now I got to be mindful of what I post.
Okay.
gotcha. And
Yeah.
speaking of your blog and your brand, so you mentioned in your bio that you turn your blog into your brand. What led you to do that? And can you explain for the people watching why that's important and differentiate between a platform like a blog or Instagram? What's the difference between that and an actual brand, just for the people watching?
Okay. When I was blogging before with Sick Rose, that was just writing. It was just something I was doing like leisure. And then brands started reaching out to me about products, doing product review, taking pictures. And then I remember the first time they asked me if I had like a LLC or I had to sign like a tax form. And I'm like, I don't even have any of those legal documents or anything like that.
Wow.
So I had to find a name that, first of all, I felt like Sick Rose was that period of my life where literally I felt like a flower dying, to just my brand, my name, which is who I am. That doesn't change no matter what season you're going through. You remain who you are.
Yeah.
So I changed that into my brand. And then once I did that, I was able to reach out to, once you have the legal documents, not a brand, it's a business. It's my name, but it's my business as well. And that's why my shop is also an extension of that. So now you can legally get paid, sign contracts. It's not just, I'm on Instagram just posting pictures. No, there's it's a legal document that you have to sign on both ends, and you have a time frame to deliver. You have to pay taxes. It's a business. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
To talk about you reaching out to brands and brands reaching out to you, like, were you seeking brands, or did some brands just come, and then as time went on that you started reaching out to specific brands? Because I know once you start becoming an influencer on Instagram, they take a look at how many people's following you, what you're posting and stuff, to find out if this is a person that they want to associate themselves with on the business side. So how were you able to market yourself in that, just for those people that are watching and listening that are interested in becoming an influencer on Instagram and trying to be like a brand ambassador? How do you manage all of that?
I think you have to be consistent with posting and interacting. Interactions is more what people are looking for, not because now micro influencers are a big thing. Even if you have a lot of followers, I have less than 10K followers and I'm getting paid partnerships. So it's not a matter of how many people follow you, it's the insights. For instance, when I'm working with brands, they want to see how many saves you have, how many people save your posts, how many reshares you get. They want to see the interactions. They want to see the comments because people buy likes. So what they
Yeah.
want to see is how many they interact, your insights. They ask for a screenshot of your insights. So how many times you post a week? They're looking for consistent content, not just just not just random pictures with low quality. Because if they're sending you product that you get to keep, they want to make sure that you're going to be able to sell that product.
Yeah.
So I think having a page where you interact with other people, because that's how, if you don't interact, then people are not going to interact with you. You're kind of like a robot. Why would I write under your post if you never write under my post? Kind of thing.
Right.
So
Right.
you have to, I think one strategy that I used when I was building up my Instagram was using hashtags. I would go under other fashion influencers, see what hashtags they're using. And then I would click on those hashtags and see the top posts, and I would comment under people's pictures. That way you're
Okay.
seen. So that person goes
Mhm.
back to your page and they
Mhm.
might comment a few things back. Because
Yeah.
what you want is interaction with. So I would
Mhm.
literally click on, because if I'm interacting with you all day, friends
Mhm.
are not going to see that. They want to see that there's interactions between this blog and community.
Right.
Um,
Gotcha.
Right.
when I started blogging, I also started, I forgot to mention that in my bio, the software, the Black bloggers community, because I noticed
Mm.
that everywhere that I went was more like Hispanic and
Mhm.
Caucasian bloggers that were getting
Mhm.
all those deals.
Mhm.
So when I finally got
Yeah, that's
booked
an
for
issue.
something, I show up and I'm the only Black girl, and I'm like, this is awkward, because I know all these amazing Black bloggers that are killing it out
Yeah.
there in South
Hmm.
Florida, but
Yeah.
they get literally like no exposure. So that page, actually doing the Black Lives Matter movement, it took off really well. Like, a lot of brands were literally looking for Black bloggers.
Oh yeah.
It
Hmm.
really took it really took that much, this tragedy,
Yeah.
to happen for us to be seen. So these women were getting a lot of, because brands now wanted to work with women
Mhm.
of color.
Yeah.
So now they were getting booked. So I'd say the best. I had more luck with brands reaching out to me. I probably pitched to like a few brands, but I didn't pitch a lot, so I can't really tell you more about that. Most
Right.
Mhm.
brands that I work with, even Neutrogena, they reached out to me, and I think that was mainly because I have a lot of interactions and people
Mhm.
react to my post a lot.
Yeah.
So I would say focus on quality content, interact with other people, ask
Hmm.
your friends and your family to save your posts. Look, there's a lot of ways you can support someone.
Mhm.
If you follow an entrepreneur, save their pictures, share their pictures
Yeah.
on your stories. Their brands are looking for, they're literally asking you to take a screenshot of how many people shared your post and how many people saved your post versus
Yeah.
likes.
Gotcha. You
Yep.
dropped so many gems for people
That's
watching.
some good
So I
gems.
hope you all are taking notes,
Take
especially
some
if you
notes.
guys want to create your own brand. And it's
Mm-hmm.
so true what you said with like comments when you went to the hashtags and
Yeah.
found these different bloggers and commented. I believe you that works because oftentimes when I'm like reading comments and I'll see somebody's like picture, I was like, oh, okay, they look cute. Let me
Right. Let me click on their
let
page.
me click on their
Right.
page and
That's
see like
That's
true.
if
how
they
you
have
get
something.
seen.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
even when
So
you go on your like page and you see all these likes and somebody leave like this big old comment, you're more
yeah,
tempted to look at the comments than the like.
My
yes,
likes. That is true.
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
That's true.
That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So thank you for sharing all of
No
that.
problem.
Yeah. All right. So my next question for you is so we talked about how you were starting the Shop Laura Charles shop, and can you tell us what some of your biggest challenges were in moving into doing online retail? What are some of those things you encountered, and did you have any solutions for them, especially for people who may be interested in doing the retail portion?
I think one of my biggest challenges to this day, because I've only been in business for a couple of months, not even a whole year yet. We're
Yeah.
going into a year in July. But
Awesome.
marketing is huge. Um,
Mm,
so I think trying to I built my platform so I get more sales from people who know me, but what your target audience is also your cold audience. Like, you want to sell
mm,
to people that don't necessarily know you, because how
gotcha.
many times are your friends supposed to buy from you in a month, you know? So
Gotcha.
it's reaching my challenge right now is reaching my cold audience. So I've been running a lot of Facebook ads. Definitely learning that you got to spend money to make money, girl. Like it doesn't just
Yeah.
come to you.
Yeah. What
In
they
order
say,
to make
scared money don't make money.
it
Yeah,
sure don't.
yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
it's literally like paying for Facebook ads.
Hmm.
That was my biggest struggle because you know that little promote button on Instagram? That's a scam. That don't get you nothing. Okay. So
Yeah,
when you post a picture on
yeah,
Instagram, they're like promote. That's not what's gonna have. You know when you're
ads.
yeah, you know when you go to like you would go to J. Crew's website and then you're minding your business and then the same item you were watching on J. Crew pops up on your feed.
Listen. Yes.
That's Facebook
Or
ads, and that's
something
how you
similar.
sell,
Yeah.
right? And you're
Hmm.
like, why are they stalking me? It's just
That's how
it's the
the
algorithm.
Yeah.
And that's how you make money. It's finding out how to push your product. So, somebody visits your page one time and they forget about it until they see it again. So you got to
Yeah.
make sure you do Facebook ads and you do marketing so that because it takes the average buyer 7 times to visit your website before they make
before
a
the
purchase.
purchase, right? That is
Okay.
So
true.
it takes a lot of, I get a lot of visits. It doesn't mean that a lot of them are gonna stay in the cart if you don't send reminders
Mhm.
after. So I had to set up a system where you send them a reminder of you left this in your cart situation.
Right.
So my struggle has been with marketing and Facebook ads, and
Mm.
that was hard to learn because
Yeah.
I had to learn that on my own.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
Yeah.
planning
It's
to
really
add
important.
to your team to add to the team to deal with more of the
Definitely,
marketing?
because that's hard for me to figure out. It's
Right.
hard. I set it up myself, but I'm like, you do it because you have to do it. But I'm like, I know there's a better way to do this.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I tell people, do what you can with what you have.
For
Right.
But
sure.
I know
Yeah.
it's definitely an area of growth for me. That's something I definitely need to work on. And that's
Right.
like one of my main focus for this summer is getting like a Facebook ad guru to get this shop in everybody's face after they visit. Y'all gonna see everywhere I'm gonna pop up. Then you're gonna be like, oh, she got somebody on her team.
Yes. Do it.
Because sharing on Instagram and Facebook is not gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, so that's been my
You got to
challenge.
put a lot of money behind those
You
ads to get
do.
them
You
pushed out
do. You
to
do.
different platforms. So yeah, that's true.
For sure. Yeah.
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 So we've talked about your journey. We talked about how you got started and talk about your business. We know your family. We know mom. We know dad. And I know your mom is a very, very big influence in your life because I. So can you talk about that dynamic? Because I know she's a businesswoman, big time
Oh, she's
businesswoman.
a guru.
So
Hmm.
talk about seeing her putting that work there and how it's influenced you.
I think my mom has literally made me believe that anything is possible. So I tend to bite more than I can chew because I've literally seen this lady do everything.
Mm.
She is a woman after God's heart. And the way she is blessed, everything she touched turns into gold. I
Amen.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So she's really like a big influence. Anything I tell her, she's like, yeah, yeah, do it. You can do it. You just have to put in the work.
Yeah.
If you're not going to put in the work, don't waste your time. Don't do it. Don't embarrass yourself and start something that you're not going to finish.
Yeah.
Um, but she's definitely, I have seen my mother build her school from the ground up. Like I
Wow.
was literally in elementary school, and I remember our nighttime prayers, we would pray for her school. We would
Mhm.
pray
Wow.
for my dad's hospital for them
Yeah.
to come to fruition. These were just ideas. And
Wow.
now they are both so successful.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I've seen, and I truly appreciate watching her journey.
Mhm.
She really kept us in the loop about everything she was doing. So I knew when they were struggling
Mm.
financially. I knew
Mhm.
when they had to go to the bank to ask for loans. I knew
Mhm.
what came through, what fell out. I knew what the process was like.
Mhm.
So when I encounter difficult times, I know what that looks like, and I know it's not the
Mhm.
end of the road there because I've seen them bounce from literally her school crumbling from the earthquake and bouncing back from that. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
so she's taught me resiliency and how to start with what you have because my mom started really, really small. She was a
Mm.
teacher. She was working 2 jobs when she started to open her own school. She was like a lab tech and she was a teacher as well. So I've definitely seen what prayer, um, having a good partner in your mate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know their personal business, but I know they're great business partners. So it's kind of like
Gotcha.
I have your back, you have mine. If you need
Mm-hmm.
this, I got you. So I know your partner can be like a big influence in you being successful or not, because you have to have
Oh, for
someone
sure.
on your side who understands the journey, who understands the work that has to go in.
Yes, the demand.
Understand
Yeah.
I gotta go to work late. You understand I gotta stay up late. You understand what that takes. So she's an inspiration. I don't know if I could ever live to be her shoes, to live up to her expectations. She's the GOAT.
Yeah.
She's the real one.
That is such a blessing to have that
It really
example in
is.
your own parents. And I love that you said that, they cued you in on like what's working, what's not working. So it wasn't just like an overnight success. Most
Definitely.
of those don't exist anyway. Um,
Right.
do you ever go to your parents for business advice?
I do. I do all the time, specifically my mom. I ask her for advice all the time, and she's really good at, and she was my mentor when I went back to Haiti. I was literally learning from her.
Yeah.
Business wise, I wanted to know, I wanted to see firsthand what she was doing. Um, but you know what? Although she's a business lady,
Yeah.
um, I think her secret is prayer.
Amen. Hey.
Amen to
Yes.
Mm.
that.
She
Amen
says
to
you
that.
can't replace that.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
You
you
know,
can't.
Haitian parents are. She's like, what because they go, mother do a piano?
Wow, that is
Right.
true.
He
There's
knows.
definitely a lot. There's definitely a lot of that into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
But
see.
she
I
awesome.
see.
supports
I see
me.
Your
your brother.
family is acting up in the comments,
Oh
girl.
yeah. Mhm.
What?
Did you get the drive from your talented brother?
Yes.
So you know who posted
Yeah,
that.
You
that one
know,
too. I forgot.
that.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
Then his wife calls him out. Brother feels some type of way, sis. You better call him out.
Oh yeah, my brother's amazing. You have to see him. He comments under every picture that I post about the outfits that I'm
Oh my
selling. But yeah,
gosh. I
yeah.
enjoy those comments. They're
Oh, he's a mess.
entertainment.
He's a hot mess. I don't know what to do with him. I called him earlier today about what I was supposed to wear for the interview,
What did he
and he
say?
goes, "You're a grown woman." And I was like, "Did you just admit that I'm a grown woman?" I
After
loved
all
it.
this time.
I was shocked. I was
Finally.
like, you know what? I'm just gonna run with that. I'm like, I'm just gonna hang up because
Yeah.
we finally are at this point.
Mhm.
Finally.
Oh
So
man.
my next question for you is, so what's the future outlook? What's the future outlook for Laura Shop? Also, like, how did you pick like the clothing? Like, is it a vendor that you're working with one-on-one? Is it a designer that you're working with to establish the look that you're looking for and the look that you want to portray out to the public? So break that down for us.
Okay, so future, yeah, I need to add more people to my team because I can't do it all by myself.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to expand once I have more help. So I'm hoping you guys can see this big growth within the next few months. Um, how do I pick my items? My first collection, I do about collections. My first collection was like my birthday collection. So I tried to go with dressy and then like a loungewear, something you can wear at home. I fell out of sets. So I think I'm like, okay, you need to sell something that people can get a lot of wear out of. So like this shirt is a set, but then I can also wear it as a shirt. I can also wear pants
Mhm.
separately. Um, at that time, it was kind of like I kind of just went with what I like because it was during COVID and nobody was going anywhere.
Mhm.
But now I'm going more with trends. So like summer's coming up, so I'm about to go into swimsuits. I don't have any on my website now.
Mm.
So I'm gonna add swimsuits because people are traveling again. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
add more summer gear, shorts. I hope my brother's not saying anything right now. Tell him please behave. I won't model them. He's a
Somebody's got
mess.
to
Business
model
is
them,
business,
bro.
huh?
He is such a mess. He is such a mess. Him and my husband, they're so funny.
I hope I hear a men line coming soon. I hope he drops some stuff, get some men
you know,
ideas.
it's
Excuse
not
me.
out of, it's
Sorry.
not,
God.
I'm considering it, but I need to master this first, you know, because it's still some stuff I got to do with
Just throwing that
I'm
out there,
still
you
not
know.
where I need to be yet with my store. So yeah, I'm trying to expand, but I go with what's in style, like what's selling now,
Mhm.
like what people need. People need like shorts, swimsuits, cover-ups because it's summer, and then
Mhm.
it depends on the season. I'm in Florida, so I didn't sell a lot of winter stuff because most of my you have to know like where your buyers are from, what they're looking
Yeah,
for.
that's good.
Supply and demand really is what I go by, and then I see what sells the most, and I go with that. So whatever items, if I sell more dress, I'll add more dresses. If I'm
Mm.
selling more sets,
And
I'll put
listening
more
to your
in that.
audience.
Yeah, you got to listen to your audience because
Yeah.
people, not everybody's going to buy what you want to wear. It's not based on what I would wear, but what are people looking for?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. That's awesome. So I
Mhm.
know that you're an avid traveler. You
I
visited
am.
over 30 countries. I'm curious to know when you're traveling, do you draw inspiration from your travels and insert them into your business? Like, for example, when you go to different cities, people tend to have like different styles. Do you ever notice those different trends, and does that ever influence like your own shop or your own business?
I do, but the thing is, it's very risque because not a lot of people are that fashion. Like if I'm trying to keep up with New York fashion,
Yeah, yeah.
people don't really dress like New Yorkers, you know?
Right, right.
So I do it more for me. But
Mm.
then with selling, you have to go with what sells more because something that's very fashion forward, like what I would wear, I know my sister wouldn't really wear. And then it's you have to know your audience.
Gotcha,
But I was
gotcha.
telling my husband once outside opens again, um, I want to do collection based on where I'm traveling to. So I'm
Oh,
like,
that'd be so
we're gonna
awesome.
travel a lot more, and then like I
Yeah.
want to do like a bloom collection or
Ooh,
a grease collection based on where I'm traveling.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. That sounds so
So
fun.
once everybody's vaccinated
Yes.
and people
Yes,
can
yes.
travel again, I
Uh-huh.
can.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's because I want to have fun with it. I don't want to
Mhm.
just be another store. So
Yeah,
I want to join things that I enjoy. So since I travel a lot, I'm like I might as well start doing
yeah,
collection based on different destinations.
yeah. I
Yeah, that's
love that idea. I
I know,
love it.
right? Yeah. So
And once
hopefully
your
by next
audience gets
year.
bigger, I mean, somebody's gonna wear like all of those fashion forward things, you know?
That is
Right,
true.
So,
definitely.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
yeah. The trends really don't only based on locations because
That's true. Yeah.
especially
Mhm.
with those big celebrities and big artists and music artists. Once they
Mhm.
start a trend, that trend is everywhere.
That's
You know what
true.
I
Yeah,
mean?
that is
That's
true.
true.
So
You got to go with what your audience is looking for. And
right,
Mhm.
right.
I have people who DM me all the time. Are you gonna bring this back, or we need more sets, or so they kind of tell me, and that helps because I bring it back and it sells out. So
Nice, nice.
yeah, it you listen, like I'm selling some items that I probably wouldn't wear every day, but they're selling like hot cakes. So I'm
Mhm.
like, sure, let's do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Okay, let's go to the comment section because
Oh
there's a lot
goodness.
going on.
Yeah,
Somebody block my brother.
oh
So
my
your
God.
sister Diana says, so y'all not gonna read my nice comment. So we're gonna have to feature her nice comment. Which one
Of
was it?
course.
Oh, her comment said, keep being a good role model. We need more of that.
Aw,
Yes,
thank
So
you,
yes.
she
sis.
wanted us to make
I love
sure
my sis.
that
She
that was
was my very
highlighted.
first buyer in my boutique.
Oh,
Okay,
And
that's what's up.
she was like, what do you have? I'm traveling. What do you have here? She came to my house. And I was like literally going through my stuff. And then I'm like, okay, but you don't have to, I'm gonna give you a discount. And she was like, no, I need to pay full price. I'm like, sis, I'm not turning down money from nobody.
okay.
But that's
That's
good
actually
though.
the best way to
Yeah,
That's
support
good.
somebody,
That's good to
like
support.
she a
pay
real
them
one.
what the item is worth. That's
Yeah,
Right.
the least you could do.
she would buy something that's on sale and not enter the discount code. And I'm like, the dress was on sale. And she's like, yeah, I know.
But
I'm like,
do you get that a lot though? Do you get a lot of people always looking for the discount, like, especially people that like close friends and family?
why you gotta call people out, Rich?
I'm just saying. No, I'm not. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying that I think that's something that we need to try to steer away from as young entrepreneurs that's coming out. Everybody needs to support the business full price. That's how I see it. You know,
I get that more from followers than my close friends and family. I think I've done I don't want to say I've done a great job, but really and truly, the people in my life are amazing. Like, I don't have anybody who's just writing you out or people who are not in your corner. I think my teenage years did that for me, and it filtered out everybody who didn't need to be part of my journey. So my friends and like any people in my circle, my friend's husband would buy clothes from my shop and I would ship them, and my best friend wouldn't even know that there's clothes coming. Yeah, it's never like, can I get a discount? It's kind of like, I just dealt you for this piece because I needed it this weekend kind of thing. So discounts I get more from followers, like, are you gonna have a sale, or I just bought this, can I get free shipping or something? But I don't get it a lot, to be honest. So I think people kind of know that it's not that kind of party.
Yeah. So my next question is, you mentioned that you want to get back into the travel service that you were doing before. Do you envision that happening anytime soon?
Are you trying to go somewhere?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm always trying to go somewhere.
I'm waiting on you.
People reach out so much when I travel. I get so many DMs. Where is that? Can you help me find this location? Yada. So, and I'm always planning a trip. And I mean, I promise you, if you tell me a destination right now, I'll probably have a hotel and restaurants somewhere I haven't even been yet.
I do that too.
Right. So I have the resources are there. So I think once people reach out, if you're ready to travel, I'm here. And it's about to be summertime. I got time.
Gotcha.
Yep, I got time.
Gotcha. All right.
So that service is on my I Am Laura Charles blog, and you're gonna see like travel services for the people who are wondering. Yeah.
So is it more like a concierge type service where you like work one-on-one with the person?
I do. So we go back and forth, and I send you itineraries, and I ask you, what do you want to do?
Oh, nice.
What's your budget? What are your dates? So like, if your budget is whatever, $500, so I'll be like, all right, this is where you can go with that money. This is what kind of hotel you can stay at, and these are the activities. Now, what's not included? So I'll give you options based on your budget. If it can't happen, I'm like, this, it can't happen.
Yeah.
And you guys can find all that contact information in this description. And I'm sure we're going to go ahead and post. There we go. We can post all her contact information where you guys can reach out for all the services that she provides, man. It was great.
Yeah. And I love that you have the concierge service for travel, because a lot of people find traveling really intimidating. Like, they just don't know where to start.
It's a lot of planning.
Yeah, so it's really
a lot of planning.
You're there to be like, okay, step 1, do this, and then step 2, do that.
Right.
Nice. Okay. SOP Ministry or On says, budget in different currency, Haitian dollars, etc. Do you mean like for the travel service?
What is he talking about? What is he talking about? He can't help himself.
Okay, I think he means like, do you work
with different budgets?
The budgets that you work with, like, is it based on currency?
I mean, I don't mind. Like, if everything now is in US dollars, to be honest. Like that, I haven't traveled anywhere where I had to pay in a different currency. Like, if you need to go out and have local money, you can, but everywhere now is, even in Haiti, hotels are in US dollars.
And every sign is like in English when you travel.
Everywhere, yeah.
That is
so true. I haven't had to use like a different currency or whatever.
Oh, okay. He wants you to know, say un petit malheureux in the comments, so that's why he's asking.
I'm just going to ignore him. Okay, mana.
All right. So this conversation has been so enlightening, and I've really, really enjoyed it. So we're going to move on to the last portion of our interview that we do is rapid fire questions.
Okay.
And I know that you watched some of the episodes before.
I have. I'm ready.
So you know how it works.
Yeah.
Just answer at the top of your head, whatever.
Okay.
Comes.
Okay, I'll try.
All right. So what food item could you eat every single day?
Desserts.
What kind?
Pepata.
Oh, really? Wow, I haven't had pempata in so long. You
I
make
love
it?
pepata.
Every day?
No, I could, and I miss it so much. If it's something I could buy, it would be creme brulee. It's my favorite dessert.
That's
Or
good.
tasso.
Oh, nice. Okay. What is the misconception that people often have about you?
I think people think I'm this huge, like extroverted person who has a life together, and I'm truly not. I think I'm a mixture. My friends swear that I am, but I'm really not. I get
Yeah.
shy, and I had anxiety about this interview, and I was texting Rich all week.
You can't even tell.
Right, and I'm hating being on the camera, so I
Yeah.
get anxiety. Yeah, even though I
Yeah.
teach.
Yeah. I get that.
I
Yeah. What would you be doing on a perfect day?
girl traveling on a beach
Yeah.
with beverages.
Mm, mm.
And a massage and an oceanfront
Oh my
massage.
God. You are speaking my language.
Yes, ma'am.
Every time you
Yes.
post these them traveling pictures, man, I'm like, Lord Jesus, find out that beach. Lord.
Yeah,
Oh, Lord.
that's a perfect day for me, really and truly.
Nice. Oh, speaking of that, what has been your favorite travel moment?
You mean what country or like?
Yeah, like, or in a specific country, what was like your favorite moment in that country? Like, say, for example, like when you were in Greece, like, what was your favorite moment
Oh
there?
God, I've had so many. You're taking me back to these amazing destinations. One of them was definitely when I got engaged in Paris.
Oh, yeah.
And I would say the second one was traveling to Santorini. And
Mhm.
every time we stayed on the, like, they call it the caldera, is when you stayed in like you're on the ocean and you see that the volcano rocks. And like
Mhm.
every time I looked outside, it was like, this is unreal.
I
Like,
know, right? And when you take a picture, it's like it doesn't really even
it
capture.
doesn't do it just
Yeah.
every time. Not just, I'm not even exaggerating. Every time I look at it, I'm like, my God, is this real? I think
Mm.
Santorini is the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
Mm.
It has that effect on you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Vino.
What?
Vino.
Oh,
Wine.
wine. Okay.
Mine.
Ooh, what's your favorite kind?
I like any wine, dry
Yeah.
preferably, Pinot Noir, Pinot
Me
Grigio.
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
funny story about wine. So before like I started drinking wine and like people would be like, "Oh, this is amazing," and I was like,
Talking
"This
about
tastes."
Moscato.
Yes, girl.
I
And I
tell
was
people
like, this
Moscato
tastes
is not wine.
disgusting. So for the longest time, I thought I didn't like wine. And that's because everybody was trying to push like the super sweet stuff to
The
me, or even
sweet
like the really
stuff,
sweet
that's
stuff.
not even real wine.
Yes.
My sister went to
Yes.
like a wine tasting and I was so jelly. And I was like, how was it? And she was like, I didn't like any of the wines. And I'm like, why? She's like, they're not sweet. And I'm like, oh my God,
Oh
why
my
are they not
gosh.
supposed to be
It's
sweet?
not
Well, you
supposed to be
know,
sweet.
it's for somebody, you know,
Right.
it's for somebody.
That's dessert. Yeah,
Yeah.
Moscato's like dessert. It's not wine. But wine, I truly enjoy having a glass of wine in the evening. That's my
Nice.
guilty pleasure. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. And what
Mhm.
is the last TV show that you binged and you loved?
Bridgerton and Jenny and something on Netflix.
Jenny and something.
It was like this girl, this teenage girl and her mom, and she was mixed, and her mom, they kept moving everywhere. It was like trending. It was like number one for a while. It was interesting.
Okay.
Oh, and then I watched Who
that
Killed
one.
Sarah, and that was interesting.
Okay.
And
I
then
might have to check that one out
Okay.
too. Okay.
Yeah.
New things for me to add on my list.
Yeah, I'm looking for recommendations. Anyone?
Yeah.
Don't have anything I'm watching lately.
What is the first thing you do when you get out of bed?
Check my phone.
Yeah, we all do it.
We all
That's
do
bad.
it.
That's so bad.
I know. It's so funny, like
bad.
how that's become like a part of everyone's routine.
Right. It's like
But you
the
can
first
do,
thing
like,
I do. I just look
everything
at
on
my
the phone.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's true.
Okay. Well, those are the rapid fire questions that we had. We are creeping up on 1 hour in this
Oh, yeah.
interview, and it didn't feel like it at all because it was such
It
a
was
pleasure.
fun. It was
This
a
was
great
such
Thank you. I had
conversation.
fun. It wasn't so bad, Rich.
Nah, I told
We
you.
told
I told you.
It wasn't so bad.
Yeah, all
It's
you have to
always
do is
great.
be
We always
yourself.
have a great time when you're talking about
What you
yourself,
like.
your
Yeah, that's
business, and what
true.
you like, your passions.
Mhm.
So that's for everybody out there, man. Live your passions, love your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you want to do out there, just continue to push, and pursue
Mm-hmm.
it
Just
as
start
different
somewhere. Just
avenues.
start
Start somewhere.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, and just like in your
start
story,
somewhere.
what people can draw from that is even if you have multiple passions, you can lean into every single one of them. You know,
Mhm.
you don't have to neglect one for the other. You know,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
it was so great. It
So
was so
we're gonna
great
put
chatting with
Laura's
you.
information in
Mhm.
the description box below. So make sure you check her out on IG, Facebook, and on IamLauraCharles.com.
Yes.
And continue to follow her brand. And we're excited to see what you have coming next.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
of course. No, thank you for joining the show. All right. Well, guys, thanks again for joining the Journey Live. Again, we are here every other Wednesday, so stay tuned for the next episode. And for those people who didn't get to catch it live, remember, if you miss a week, you can always rewatch the replay on
Correct.
YouTube on the Spirit of Praise Ministry page.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Yes. Yes. All right. We will see you all next time and have a good night.
Have a
Good
good night.
night.
Bye.